He's not the boss.
Is there a timer? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's right up.
Hey, everybody. Can I introduce myself?
Bob Vance Refrigerator.
Bob Vance, Vance Refrigerator. I don't think I put that on the last one. Anyway, Whitney Whitaker, Milligan Valley Dog Training. We're gonna do some more Q&As this week. Hey, I'm trying to do a Q&A over here.
Oh, you told me that I could do this. You're the boss, so I don't know what you're telling you.
Anyway, so we're gonna do a Q&A. So one thing I like to sort of like set the Q&As up a little bit with, especially if you don't know me, if you've never worked with me, and it's your first time asking a question, a lot of the times the questions that we get on the Q&A is how to stop an unwanted behavior, which I love to do, right? I love stopping unwanted behaviors. But the answer to that is always going to be punishment. However, dogs that we train here, dogs that we train in our private training, a lot of the training there is reward-based. It's just that most of the questions we get in on the Q&A aren't necessarily about reward-based training. It's more or less like, hey, my dog's getting in the trash, how do I stop this? The only way to stop an unwanted behavior is through discipline and punishment. That's it. It's that simple. It really is that simple. If we want to increase a wanted behavior, we reward it. How do we reward it? With either food or physical praise. So, dog training is simple. I like to keep it as simple as possible, especially, you know, for the average dog owner. I don't like to complicate things at all. So, that's our little intro here. Do you want to start reading questions?
You look fabulous tonight.
Thanks. So
So
do you.
know.
So this is Danielle. Danielle's my friend.
Hello.
I also...
Friend? I'm your friend.
Are you this week?
I don't know. You were like, I'm your friend.
Well, I'm pretty confident in it.
Awesome.
Anyway, Danielle also does training with me, and I asked her to follow me around with a video camera so that I could get the most...
I'm amazing.
This is about me.
Oh, my bad.
So that I could get the most content out to you guys so that we could do a lot more free stuff to help people for free. So pretty much a couple days a week, Danielle follows me around with a video camera and captures some good stuff. So
Sure do.
she's also a really good reader, and she's going to read the questions.
Oh, thanks.
You are. Okay.
Jennifer?
You don't know how to say her last name, do you?
No, I don't. I was just about to
I think it's
ask.
going to be Mio.
Okay.
Jennifer, thank you so much for the question. I don't know how to say your last name, though. So we'll go with Jennifer
She
for
says,
now.
I have a 6-year-old male Yorkie, was always good up till a divorce 4 to 5 years ago, caused an uprooting, change of home, leaving our canine to my ex, and a slew of other changes. He became very aggressive, and I had the dog warden to my house on one occasion. He is sweet with everyone pre-divorce, but can be aggressive with us if he is attempting to bite someone else. Any suggestions, or is he a lost cause?
Oh, no, he's not a lost cause. Not a lost cause at all. So don't worry about that. Sometimes it happens, it's circumstances in life, and it causes the dog to have a change in their routine. And sometimes you can see a little bit of a setback here. What we got to do is we have to, and first off, I empathize with your situation, and you know, I certainly feel for you there. But what we have to do is we can't humanize the dog too much. So we can't put a lot of human feelings into how the dog is feeling. And so sometimes when we go through a certain situation, we can even sometimes take some of our own emotions and we can place it on the dog. And then the dog feels that. And the dog sort of can get keyed up about some things. Or even just your routine changes and your lifestyle changes. And so then we start to see things like what you're talking about here. So, what do? Massive amounts of structure, first off. And then, so she said that the dog's becoming aggressive. So I think he's just, in general, he's becoming aggressive.
It says with us and attempting to bite someone else.
Oh, so the dog's becoming aggressive with you. Okay. Right? Did I get that?
He is sweet with everyone pre-divorce, but can be aggressive with us if he is attempting to bite someone
Oh,
else.
so redirecting.
Yes,
So the
he's
dog is
redirecting.
right. So the
Yeah.
dog is getting aggressive with other people and then redirecting back on you. Okay, that's pretty normal in my world. So of course, as an average dog owner, you're like, yeah, okay, but I certainly don't want my dog to be out of control and then turning back and biting me. So, massive amounts of structure. You're gonna correct the dog for any reactivity. So, it may not be true aggression, it might just be some reactivity. What can you do? First off, if you're not using a prong collar, start using a prong collar. Teach your dog how to walk on a prong collar. Teach your dog the place command. Okay, so company comes into the house. So, place command. Okay, we got other dogs laying around too, you just can't see them. Teach your dog to lay politely on the place bed and sort of watch life go by. So you definitely want to teach the place command and correct any reactivity on a prong collar. And you can also, if you're in your own home, you can also use a bonker, no, and then throw the towel at the dog to de-escalate any arousal. Because the bonker is actually the single best tool to de-escalate arousal. And so then if the dog is redirecting back on you, it won't after you bonk it. So you say no, and then throw the towel at the dog as hard as you can. Yes, I'm telling you to throw a cotton towel at your dog, and the dog will be fine. It just squashes the arousal.
And we have videos up on how to use the prong collar,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
And stuff like that. So
We need to do how do you make a bonker
we
video.
can do that. We can do that next.
We'll do that.
Okay. So, you want to go to the next one?
Sure.
Lauren Heckman.
Yep.
I have a 3-year-old Aussie Doodle. He is generally friendly to all dogs when off leash. He has been to many dog parks and plays just fine. However, when he is on the leash, and more specifically when I am walking him versus my husband, he tends to be very aggressive towards other dogs. Has never bit but will growl and bark.
Hey, buddy.
Huh.
You're reading last week's Q&A.
Well, you got it up. You brought it up for me.
I might have.
You did, for sure. 100%.
But I know. It's fine. It's fine. We're rolling with it. The question
You want to
from
restart it?
no,
I feel like we should.
No, The
Okay.
question from Jennifer, I didn't get to answer last week.
Oh.
So it was a double post.
Gotcha.
So when I saw her question, I just went with it.
Well, I'm going to be honest here. You know I don't know how to work Facebook, so this was all you.
There you go. Jessica.
Jessica, my dog's no place. I use to go to bed and use a cot style I use go to bed and use a cot style bed. And they will stay there while I'm in the same room, but they often get off whenever they want. How do I get a really good place?
Excellent question, Jessica. Really good question. So, one of my favorite techniques, something to use, is so if you have an iPhone, you can do FaceTime. If you have an Android, you can do Skype. So, what you're going to do is, so you can set the dog up, like on FaceTime, and then go in the other room and spy on him. It's awesome. The dog's like, gonna think you have eyes in the back of your head.
And then when they get off place, what does she do?
I'm getting there.
Okay, well,
Not maybe as quickly as you want me to, but I'm getting there.
I don't know. Your pauses sometimes are long. Just making sure you're on track.
I'm on track.
Okay.
So, you're gonna sit in your living room. You're gonna spy on the dog. Okay, so you're sitting in there watching TV, and the dog's downstairs. The dog's in your bedroom, or wherever, and you're spying on them. And the dog gets up, and then you're gonna say no, and then you're gonna correct on the e-collar, or if your dog is not e-collar trained, then you're gonna meet them in the hallway, and you're gonna give a firm leash pop. But your no, immediately as you're spying on them, your no is going to mark the bad decision, and then you're going to give a correction, and the dog's gonna go, "Oh my God, how did you how do you know?" And you're like, "I know everything." So spy on your dog. It's great. It's awesome.
Okay.
Next.
Cynthia Wright. Morning, Whitney. So Sebastian loves to take socks, towels, and blankets, run around the house with them. It's a game for him, but when we finally get over to him and tell him to drop whatever's in his mouth, he pees. How do I stop this behavior? Please
Yeah.
help.
Gotcha. Okay. Cynthia has, I think, one of Lainey's puppies. So, yeah, it's Lainey. Pretty sure. So, what you're going to do is, first off, I guess let me ask you this. Why is your dog doing so much free roaming? So, 7-month-old puppy, I got them dogs right under my thumb. So, what you're going to want to do is crate the dog up more times than not, and then you want to teach him the place command. But, aside from that, step 1, correct the dog for picking up the objects he should not have. The socks, the towels. So step 1 is stopping that. How do you do that? The easiest way is with a remote collar. Easiest way. So you put the remote collar on the dog. Dog goes to pick up, towels and socks.
Socks, towels, and blankets.
Yeah, if dog puts anything in his mouth that he's not supposed to, correct, high on the e-collar. We like e-collar technologies. That's the one we use 90% of the time, 95% of the time. Dogtra's a good one. All e-collars are not created equal, so don't just go to Tractor Supply and pick one up or grab one off of Amazon. The Mini Educator by e-collar technologies is the #1 shock collar. Like, that's the best. So correct high for that. Dog picks up a sock, boom, make it suck. Why? Because I'm getting the phone calls and the bad emails and the text messages and the clients showing up here with dogs that are, struggling with destroying things in the house, or dogs that are getting bowel obstructions and having to have surgeries and whatnot. So I don't mess around. I make the act of putting a sock in your mouth very uncomfortable, or a blanket or a shoe or anything that's not supposed to be in your mouth, because to me, in my world, it's just a matter of life and death. So that's step 1, is fixing that. Then the other step is not as much free roaming. Not as much free roaming at all. Let's get that dog on the place command, and if you're not directly interacting with him, that's where he should be. Okay? All right, next.
All right, Brandon. I'm not positive how to say his last name.
Burgett.
Okay. I just don't like to mess things up. Carly is pregnant and should be due in coming weeks. First time. What all should we expect? Demeanor seems to have changed and she's protective over her food. Will this behavior go back to normal?
Yeah, I mean, so Brandon and his wife Whitney, actually, they brought their dog Carly back when I did group classes, probably 2 years ago or so. So congratulations on her litter. I know that's been a goal of yours, so congratulations on that. Yeah, you got a lot of hormonal stuff going on there. So I wouldn't, honestly, Brandon, I wouldn't get too worked up about it. I really wouldn't. It's a lot of hormonal stuff going on there, and you're going to see some other changes. And they're going to come, and then they're going to go. So I honestly, just let it go. Let it slide. If she's causing a real problem over the food, and it's not something just minor, and you go over to the food dish and she's getting like protective over it, and bonk her for it. So just no, boom.
I really thought you were gonna hit me on the head with that. I really thought it was coming.
Well, don't let your guard down.
I know.
You never know.
I know.
So, but honestly, if you think it's becoming a real problem, bonk her for it. Otherwise, honestly, I'd just chalk it up to hormones and I wouldn't get too worried about it. So, all right, congratulations. All right. Yep, next.
Christina Carver.
I think you skipped one.
I didn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. You're doing great.
Christina, I know. Christina Carver. I have an 8.5-month-old Rottweiler. He lived in a barn the first 6 months of his life. He is chewing the furniture and even ate a very large hole in our mattress. He's been with me for just over 2 months. We have 3 other dogs as well, and I had no trouble getting them through their chewing stages without everything we own being destroyed. I can't leave him alone for 5 minutes before he's chewing on something he shouldn't be. I know he understands that he shouldn't be doing it because he stops and or runs when I enter the room. Any tips for my sweet but stubborn boy? His name is Moose. Oh, and he's cute.
Can you enlarge it?
Yes, I can. Look how cute he
Oh,
is.
that
Look how
is
cute he
cute.
is.
No. Well, Moose, you're cute. Causing some problems, buddy. Yeah. I mean, that's in my world. It's easy fixes. So I try to make dog training come across as easy as possible for dog owners. So, Cynthia, I'm not just gonna pick on you.
Christina.
I know, but I've told Cynthia, why is the dog out of the crate? Why are you not?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so I'm not
Go
just
ahead.
picking on
I
you.
just thought maybe you forgot her name.
No. Christine.
With it.
Is it Christine?
Christina.
You gotta put the dog in the crate when you're not watching it. Put the dog in the crate. So, example. So 2 of our personal dogs right now are out on place. One of my personal dogs is in the crate. Why? I just left him there. He's fine. But I didn't get him out of the crate before I started this Q&A because we had been busy. Okay? My dogs are crated when I'm not watching them. And they're trained. Like, they're not going to pick up a shoe. They're not going to pick up a sock. They're not going to get in the trash. You know what I'm saying? So, don't look at crating the dog as defeat. The dog should be crated when we're not interacting with them or on the place command. So, crate your dog. Let's start there. Sort of the same things as I was talking with Cynthia about Sebastian is step 1 is you have to correct the dog for the nonsense. So, the dog chewed a hole in the mattress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Large hole in the mattress.
Yeah, that's
And
expensive.
chewing the furniture.
But you know that. I don't have to tell you that. So, and again, I mean this with love and sincerity. I truly do. But where were you? So you weren't there. So we can't give leadership and direction with the dogs if we're not there. So crate the dog. But then if we are there and the dog picks up a sock, boom, sucks to pick up a sock. Why? Because we're going to correct them on the remote. Dog picks up a shoe, boom, sucks to pick up a shoe. Gets in the trash, you get my point. That's step 1. Step 1 is always stopping the unwanted behavior. Okay, great. That's easy. We do that all the time. So easy to stop unwanted behaviors. Then what we have to do is then we have to start teaching the wanted behaviors. What are the wanted behaviors? Now we're getting into obedience, the place command, a downstay, coming when called, that kind of thing. So let's make it suck to put anything in your mouth that does not belong to you, dog. Let's do that. Let's get him in the crate a lot more. How much time should he's 8 months old?
8.5.
8.5 months old. An 8.5-month-old puppy should be spending a lot of time in the crate if you're not directly interacting with him. Great question. Thank you. I think that was my first question from you, and I appreciate you reaching out.
All right, next question. Lynn Margaret. My husband taught our dog to freak out with barking over every little knock, or even if we say, "Who's there?" At first, it seemed like a great guard dog idea. Now it's pretty annoying, especially with a sleeping baby. Ha
Yep.
ha.
Yeah.
Any way to reverse bad training habits?
Absolutely. No worries, Lynn. Absolutely, you can. What you're going to do is, and you can set this up even. You don't even have to just wait for this to happen. You seriously could set this up. So if I was dealing with a dog doing this or in board and train, right? So if we got a dog in board and train doing this, I would tell Danielle, go knock on the door and let me do my work, right? And so she would. We would just set it up and we would just overcome it like in a day. Why? Because we're purposely setting it up. So have somebody come and knock on the door, ring the doorbell, whatever, and then what you're going to do is you're going to correct the dog for being ballistic or freaking out. Okay? So the dog's going to rush the door and you're going to say no, and you're going to tap the dog on the remote collar. That's a great choice because there's so much leverage on a remote collar. I don't actually have to be right up on top of you with the remote collar. Or if you don't have a remote collar, bonker. Bonkers. I know I said this in the beginning, but you really can't say it enough.
It's true.
It's the best tool for de-escalating arousal.
They are.
So it's going to be, I feel like I should stand up and demo. You know.
Are you gonna hit me?
I'm not right now. Not while the video's rolling.
Okay.
So it's just, have this hanging up in, like by your coat rack. Okay, so it's there when company comes. It's there when you're practicing this. So let it sit up in your coat rack. The dog rushes the door. No. Firm. So it's nothing wimpy about it at all. So if you don't have a remote collar, bunker. If you have a remote collar, it's just no high level correction. That's it.
And it's not mean to have taught your dog something and then decide that that behavior is no longer acceptable. That's that's okay. Sometimes in life things change. You have a baby. Sometimes things aren't acceptable anymore. You just go right ahead.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. Okay,
Absolutely.
that's the end.
That's the end.
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, I did that kind of quick.
I know, you did good.
Okay.
You did good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, those are quick answers. We do have some videos on the YouTube channel on how to implement some of this stuff. We're always trying to add more to the, what's the word, repertoire? Is that, you know what I mean? Like, to
I don't think
the,
that's the right word.
to the
To your
catalog.
collection?
Yeah, we'll go
Yeah.
with that. We're always trying to add more. We want to help you guys. We know people are struggling, and we want to help you. So, do the best we can, and that's it.
All right. Sounds good.